Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of our series Into Him. Today I want to look at John chapter 15. Now in part 1, we talked about Moses. Moses is, for me, the figure that is the perfect example of someone who moved in his relationship from knowing God, having knowledge of God, really operating in a sense where he knew who God is. He spoke with God, which is really cool, but he operated from a distance. That's the key. He operated from a distance. They were two separate beings. It's like two people who know each other, but they're certainly not best friends. They're certainly not dating, and they're definitely not married, right? They're just aware of each other. And then Moses moves to this place where he jumps far beyond best friends, far beyond dating. He's married. He's married to God. And God says, we're the bride and he's the groom. The church is his bride. So it's the perfect picture. John chapter 15 talks about Jesus being the true vine. There's a couple of things about this. One, there's just so much good stuff in what John writes. But the other thing is, we know John's relationship with Jesus. John is the only disciple, who wrote the 4 Gospels. He's the only one who called himself the one Jesus loved. Everybody else, maybe referred to themselves just by their name. But John had such, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a competitive spirit. He definitely had a competitive spirit because he made sure to point out that he got to the tomb first, ahead of Peter. But it wasn't just competition. He was so confident and sure in Jesus' love for him and his return love for Jesus that that's how he saw himself. The picture of their relationship was so crystal clear and so strong, and it was so tied up in love that I think John couldn't help but call himself the one that Jesus loved. And if you remember, there was 3 people left from Jesus' followers, at the end of the day, at the foot of the cross. It was Mary Magdalene, and John. And Jesus said to John, "Hey, will you take care of my mother?" And everybody else had deserted. Love is that powerful. Peter was the leader. Peter was the one with the strong personality. Peter was the one that you would have picked out to be CEO. Peter's the one that you would have, compared yourself with on Facebook and been like, "Oh man, I'm not like Peter. There's no way I'm ever going to accomplish that much. He's driving the nice cars. He's got the big house. He's done really well in life. He seems like he's got it all together." John's the emotional one, that you would go, "Man, I feel sorry for John and all his friends," because, he's always talking about those emotions and he's up one day and down the next or something like that. But guess what? At the end of the day, when it all really mattered, when fear tried to take over and fear won for many, many disciples and most of Jesus' followers, love won for John, for Mary, and Mary Magdalene. And that's why it's so key to see what John says. So it's Jesus talking, but it's in John. And John writes about it. And Jesus says, "Remain in me. Abide in me" is another translation. "And I will remain in you. I will abide in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it's severed from the vine. You cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me." Then it goes on to say, "For apart from me, you can do nothing." Now, we often focus on the doing. Apart from me, you can do nothing. I just want to focus on, for this part of the series, on the part that says, "Remain in me, and I will remain in you." Remain in me and I'll remain in you. Now, we usually focus on the first part of that, which is, okay, so you got to remain in God. You got to abide in God. It's like, okay, every day I'm focusing. I've got to be, close to God. I've got to pray. I've got to worship. I've got to read my Bible. I can do it. I can do it. That's not what it says. It doesn't end there. It says, "Remain in me and I will remain in you." God's abiding in me. It doesn't just say, "Hey, get connected with me and I'm going to shoot some electricity into you." It says, "If you abide in me, I will abide in you. If you rest in me, I'll rest in you. If you just find all your love and joy in me, I'll find all my love and joy in you. If you get filled up in me, I'll get filled up in you." Now, he's God. He's totally self-sufficient, which is what makes this even more incredible. God is finding joy and love and fulfillment and purpose and just awesome things. His own smile, his everyday dance of joy in remaining in you and abiding in you. If we'll just begin and take the first step and abide in him, then guess what's going to overcome us? The love that God has for us and the love that God gets from us. I don't mean that we give, but just the fact that we're in relationship, God gets high on that love. God gets filled up on that love, and it's going to make you say, like John said, I'm the one Jesus loves. I'm the one that makes Jesus happy. I'm the one that makes Jesus smile. And if that's what you really realize about your life, that the God of the universe, that you make the God of the universe feel that way, you'll know there's never been anyone like you and that you're his very favorite. And you'll smile every day of your life. Thanks.